Welcome to the Sacred Emergence Podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Wong, and I'm so thrilled that you're here. This is a place where you'll be guided to living your most aligned life so that your truest, most radiant self can emerge. We'll be jamming on topics ranging from spirituality, entrepreneurship, to wellness and lifestyle design, and everything in between that can support you to grow, evolve, and shine, all the while not taking ourselves too seriously. So if you're ready to step into your leadership, break through limiting beliefs, own all of who you are, and expand in abundance, grab yourself your faith cup of tea and let's dive in. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Sacred Emergence. It's Michelle Wong here, and today you have a solo episode with yours truly. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So for those of you who may or may not know, I have a program launch that I'm promoting right now called Aligned Rebel. Unleash your personal power and create impact. And I wanted to talk a little bit about what create impact means in the context of this course, as well as why I decided to title the course Aligned Rebel. And hopefully, whether or not you're in the program, this was something that I really had to sit with and just process out why am I calling it Aligned Rebel, and what does it really mean to create impact? So let's kind of unpack this, because I feel like it's good information. So with this course I'm creating, it's going to be based on human design, and this actual 14-day course is not just human design, but human design is the main component, it's the main foundation, but the intention is to really embody the knowledge from someone's human design graph, and not just learn it on an intellectual level, but really start to integrate it into their cellular being. And hence the word aligned rebel, like the alignment that comes in when we are in alignment with our human design, like energetic alignment. It could be like the physical, like the physicality of honoring our energy, like our physical energy, as well as human design is all about our soul's blueprint, right? And so aligning to that, right? To our soul's blueprint of why we are here on earth. And then there's the rebel. And so for whatever reason, the word rebel wouldn't leave my mind when I was brainstorming names for this program. And rebel is interesting because I think sometimes the word rebel might be a little bit daunting or intimidating or slightly off-putting, because like rebellion, right? It's it can be what do you mean? I'm rebellion, sometimes when I think of the word rebel, it's like anarchy. And in this context, I love the word rebel because it's really about deconditioning and unbecoming who we've been taught to be. And that can happen in so many, our conditioning process happens even before we're born into this world sometimes, right? Depending on what happens in utero. But who we are is shaped by our environment and by our caregivers and by our peers and, by society and culture. So all these different pieces really influence who we are. And a lot of times it might not actually be serving us in the best way possible. And truly only we can really know that for ourselves, where on our life's path is okay, where am I being a people pleaser, right? Or where am I living out of alignment to what I really feel is calling me forward? So there's a lot of dissection in that respect, and human design can kind of show if you're in alignment with your energy, things moving forward is less resistant, or at least you feel more in flow and more free. So in my perspective, to do the work, right, to show up and do the work, to align with your soul's energy, and to come from that place of it doesn't really matter what other people think of me, because I'm going to be my unique self and I'm going to do the work and follow through. And it is a learning process. That in and of itself to me is an act of rebellion, because we are going against the conditioning of society and that we are coming back to ourselves. And that to me isn't just rebellion, it takes courage. And by doing that work, it taps into your personal power, because when we're able to stand in our ground and, say no, or start making decisions that really support our well-being, even if it's uncomfortable, there is so much like that. The result of that just feels really good. Even though it might be uncomfortable, it does. It feels good at the end because you're standing up for yourself. And so that combination of personal power and, yeah, it's an act of rebellion, because now I am doing what is in my best interest. And I believe that what is good for you, what's good for me, is ultimately good for everybody, right? And there's selfishness, and then there's selfishness, where, one place is coming from really doing the work and taking action that's best in alignment for everybody at the end, versus from a place of egotistical, narcissistic selfishness. But being able to say no because you have to make your well-being a priority, like, okay, I cannot join you in this outing because I want to go to bed earlier, or I cannot actually help you tonight because I'm really tired. I can help you maybe like in the morning, like being able to create boundaries because you know what serves you best so that you can show up better for other people. That form of selfishness is actually a gift, and being able to model that for other people is a gift, and it's win-win for everybody. And that's where the creating impact comes in, because I feel like when the word creating impact, that as well can be a little intimidating, because so many of us are still figuring out, okay, what's my life's purpose? And like, we could be honestly like, I believe like the purpose, like what we're here meant, what we are here, what we're meant to be doing here on earth. I don't know if that makes sense. What we are here on earth to do, whatever, that purpose. I mean, it, I feel like it's not always like the same thing, right? It could be a moving target, right? And I feel like us living through our joy and growing and experiencing life, creating relationships, making connections. And I mean, that to me is our soul's purpose here on earth, right? We're here to live life and to learn and to grow. Like, that's ultimately, I believe, our soul's purpose. And hopefully through that process, we find joy and love. And yeah, there is like a career purpose, there's a vocational purpose, like in terms of the difference and the impact I want to make in the world. And that's a lot of pressure. And so with this, with this course that I have coming up, the Create Impact is actually like, when we are showing up for ourselves and when we are willing to do the work and unbecome and decondition from what we think we're supposed to do, right? Releasing ourselves from the shoulds. None of this is easy, but when we are willing to do the work and, trip and fail and be like, oh crap, like I totally should have said no, but I said yes. And, the lessons keep coming up over and over again, but we become more conscious and more aware of that pattern. And then we start to slowly depattern from that. We create impact in our own lives, right? So in order to create impact for other people or for in this world, right? In order to make that impact, we first need to make an impact in our own lives. And that is from showing up to do the work. And yeah, it's not easy, but if you stick to it, if you're, if you fall down, you get back up and you keep trying, it's going to impact other people, right? They're going to feel it because you don't live in isolation. And other people will start noticing how you've changed, how you've shifted, how you've transformed. Some people may not like it, and you've impacted them, right? So it could be a positive impact, and someone not liking you because you've transformed and you've up leveled. It might have triggered them, but it's still a good thing because now they're actually being invited to do the work themselves, right? So you've become a mirror for them. And so by you doing that work, it's going to help other people because you start to become the role model, right? You start making that impact in your own life, and it's going to create some type of energetic effect towards someone else or directly, right? Not just energetically, but like, depending on your, relationship with another person. So that to me is the power of when we show up and do the work to be aligned, right? And that's what I mean when I say create impact. And yeah, first it's within our own lives that we create impact for ourselves. And then by doing that, it becomes an impact for other people. And you can use that and then actually take the work that you've done, your own experience, and use that as a way to to teach other people. And then it becomes part of your purpose if that's something that you want to do. And so that's like, for me, that's why the inner work, the inner leadership work, the inner confidence, all of the inner work, I feel like it is foundational, right? Because you don't have to necessarily, I mean, you can create impact right now without doing the underlying, excuse me, the inner work, right? You don't need to, you can create impact now, but in terms of like long lasting, sustainable growth, right? Where you get transformed in the process, I feel like this is super powerful, hence the personal power and the create impact. So that is what went on behind the naming of this program. Um, and I'm super excited for it. The program starts on March 8th, which is a Sunday. We have a kickoff call. It goes for 14 days. And then there's a 4-week integration period where for those who want to go back and revisit the information, or, they weren't able to catch up on some of the live training, then they'll have the opportunity to do that. And then there's an opportunity to go deeper with the work because you'll have the chance to revisit the content and continuing to embody the lessons and the material so that it becomes part of your day-to-day, or something that you can start integrating better into your daily life. And so the foundation of Aligned Rebel is really around self-value and making our well-being a priority. So there are aspects of self-care, but doing it in a way that's through your human design. Like, what works for you? How do you receive nourishment? Through better sleep, through better boundaries, through looking at your energetic body graph, right, in human design. And what are the pieces that is really going to help you flourish in the best way possible. So that is the concept behind Aligned Rebel. And how it's going to work, for those of you who might be interested, is that it's going to be held in a separate Facebook group. And I imagine it to be a pretty intimate group container, which I love, because not only do you get to learn from myself, but everybody in the group who is joining, you're going to hold sacred space for each other. You're going to show up, you're going to do the work, and then you're not alone, right? And then you'll be able to share your process and your journey and then offer each other ideas. And I just think that is so beautiful. And I'm imagining the group will be small enough that there's enough intention, there's enough one-on-one time to get your questions answered, and just be able to go deeper. So I'm stoked for it. And so the time of this recording, it's an after dinner recording. And the promotion for this, I have an early bird special that actually ends Sunday night, which is February 23rd. 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. So by the time you hear this this podcast, it's going to be Monday the 24th. So you would have already missed the promotion for the early bird special. And so because you are a podcast listener, I wanted to give you an extra, wiggle room to take advantage of the early bird pricing if you are interested. So I'm going to give you until Wednesday this week. So Wednesday, oh my goodness, let me check the calendar really quick. Wednesday the 26th, so midnight, Wednesday the 26th, February 2020. So if you're listening to this pretty close to the release date for this podcast, which is the 24th of February 2020, then this will be relevant for you. If you're listening to this, in December, November of 2020, 2021, then, it's less relevant. But I wanted to honor that. So I'm going to give you a discount code in the show notes, and you can enter that code, and then you will get the same discounted price as the early bird discount, which is $100 saving from the regular price. That's in US dollars. And for those who are fast action, they would get one 30-minute private call with me, a one-on-one coaching call, but that's for the first 3 people who register. So if you end up being one of them, that'll be great. So I wanted to offer that because just to be fair, because I really value you as a loyal listener. And even if you're joining me new, this is your first time, welcome, thank you. And you can still take advantage of it. So I'm available for any questions. You can direct message me over on Instagram. You can email me at michelle@nonlinearpath.com. All that information is in my show notes. The structure of it, of the 14-day, is every other day you're going to get content, and then the days in between where it's not live teaching, there's going to be homework and integration for you. And I really wanted to make it like that because I find that when I'm doing like a 6 or 8 week course, usually it's like once a week you get like a 45 to an hour of training, or sometimes a little bit more. And then you meet once a week, right? So by the time week 4 comes, you've had like maybe 4 hours of content already from the course facilitator. But honestly, by week 4, I'm already ready to move on. That's just me. So what I really want to do is collapse the time and while the excitement and the momentum is still up, be able to offer really high value, be able to answer questions, and then you'll be motivated, right? Because you got great information, you're starting to integrate it, you'll be motivated to stay in the group and stay connected, ask further questions, deepening the work, and there's 4 weeks of integration. So ultimately, this whole program is 6 weeks. It's just that we front-loaded the information and the content in the beginning. So I like that style. And then there's also a VIP option if you wanted to upgrade and do a human design reading for yourself, read by me, as well as a 30-minute one-on-one private coaching call that you could use before, after the one-on-one reading, or during the course, like however you want to structure it. So that's how I wanted to offer it. And the 30-minute one-on-one coaching it's laser focused, and we're going to dive deep. And so if you end up being one of the first few to register, it is up for grabs, right? So that is something that I really wanted to put out there. And again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm available. And then prices do go up they technically go up starting Monday, the 24th, but as a listener, it'll go up starting Thursday. But I will put the discount link below, and take advantage of it if you feel called. And I would say, like, use your body's intuition, use your body's wisdom, use your inner authority to help you decide. Otherwise, I don't think it's a huge decision. You either know or you don't know. And it would be so fun to have you. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Have a beautiful week, day, evening, night, wherever you're at, and I will see you soon. Cheers. Join our free private Facebook group community, Sacred Emergence, to receive more connection, guidance, and support, and take part in our 5-day Inner Confidence Challenge to not only boost your confidence, but to help activate your inner leadership. Details in the show notes. Thank you for listening to the Sacred Emergence podcast. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and thank you in advance for sharing this with others who can benefit. Until next time.